Hi and welcome to 3-Day Inevitable Results Challenge. My name is Irina, and for the next 3 days I'm going to teach you an advanced goal-setting strategy that makes your success almost inevitable. This strategy is called inevitability thinking, and it was introduced to me several years ago by Eben Pagan. It is based on putting a certain external conditions in place to ensure you achieve your goals. Why I love it so much? Because it doesn't rely on your willpower and inner resources to achieve your goals. Traditional goal setting works as long as you work. There are ways to make goal setting easier and more fun, but at the end you have to consciously apply the effort and exercise your self-discipline to take consistent action and achieve your goals. But for us humans, it is not so easy to change behavior. It is not easy to do consistently what you need to do. Our willpower is limited. Our self-discipline depends on so many things like weather, mood, and amount of sleep we got, and so on. There are so many obstacles that can come up. So many things can go wrong. That's why the hardest thing in goal getting is to stick to the goal and follow through. There is always a chance that you can go off track, that you can get distracted. Traditional goal setting doesn't guarantee you anything. Your outcome totally depends on your effort, your ability to focus, and your determination. But there is an alternative approach. It works extremely well because it relies on external conditions, not on our inner capabilities. Our job is to figure out the best set of conditions for the certain goal, and then put those conditions in place once. And in order to start, we need to have a certain goal in mind. So let's begin with picking a goal. I would recommend to pick just one goal for this challenge and choose something that you would love to achieve before the end of 2017. Probably you already have a certain goal in mind, but in case you don't, ask yourself this question. What would be the biggest win I would love to achieve by the end of 2017? That would make me feel like it was the best year ever. Don't overthink it. Probably the first goal that comes to your mind is the right one. And now let's scan it quickly through the action filter to make sure it's a strong goal and not just an unrealistic wish. Action filter was designed by Michael Hyatt, and notice it's AA action with 2 A's. An action goal has 7 attributes. The first A stands for actionable. This means that your goal needs to start with a good, strong action verb, something like quit, run, finish, write. You don't want to use a to be verb, like am or be or have. Couple of examples. Be more consistent in blogging. Is that actionable? No, that's a to be verb. But something like write 2 blog posts a week, that's actionable. It starts with the verb write. Another example. Be more health conscious. No, you need to have something like run 30 minutes per session 4 times a week. That would be a good strong goal with an action verb that begins it. The second A stands for aligned. Your goal should be aligned with your values. Otherwise, you will run into inner conflict where one part of you wants one thing and another part of you wants the opposite thing. I won't run deep into this. I talk a lot about inner parts integration during my group trainings. But for now, I need you to make sure that your goal doesn't cause the immediate resistance. For example, if your goal is to move up the career ladder, but it will require a lot of extra time that you feel you would rather spend with your family, then you will consciously or unconsciously sabotage your goal. So make sure your goal is what you truly want, not that others desire of you or something that you think you should get. The C stands for challenging. Now, I'm not saying that we should be setting goals that are clearly beyond our capability and capacity, but these goals should be challenging. Unless we set goals that stretch us and that take us out of our comfort zone, these are likely to be unfulfilling. After all, nothing worthwhile ever happens when we are in our comfort zone. Your goal needs to be outside your comfort zone. And there are 3 emotions you're going to experience when you place your goals in the discomfort zone. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Don't run away from these emotions. Learn to embrace them. They are indicators that you're on the right track to growth, meaningful accomplishments, and success. The 4th criteria is time-bound. Goal comes with a deadline. It is what makes you move, what creates urgency. So, decide on the date by when you want to achieve your goal. Attribute number 5, your goal should be inspiring. Here is a quick toes curling test to make sure your goal is inspiring enough. Ask yourself this question. Do your toes curl from excitement when you think about your goal? If not, pick another one or seriously adjust it. Your goals should motivate you, should deeply move you. You should feel passionate about reaching them. Otherwise, why bother achieving them? The next attribute is objective. There should be no doubts whether or not you achieved your goals. The best way to make sure they are objective is to make them measurable. Add numbers to your goals where possible. Make it specific. If you have this goal, lose weight, is that objective? No. How do you know if you hit it? How would anybody else know if you hit it? If you said lose 35 pounds, now that's objective, it's measurable. You will know, anyone else will know whether or not you accomplished your goal. The 7th and final attribute of an action goal is that it's narrow. By narrow, I mean specific. You've got to be focused on a specific result that you want to accomplish. We are trained from school age to think in abstract terms. Many people perceive that the more abstract you are, the smarter you look. This habit of abstract thinking places a limit on our ability to achieve our goals for one reason. We constantly fail to set specific goals. Even more, we often fail to realize that our goals are not specific at all. Take a look at the following goals taken from the 43things.com goal-setting website. Lose weight, write a book, stop procrastination, be happy, drink more water, learn Spanish, save money, live instead of exist. The list goes on and on. Out of 100 top goals listed, I found 2 more or less specific goals. Have a baby and learn how to drive stick shift. Let's take a nice goal like learn Spanish. It seems specific, right? But when is this magic point that defines you as a Spanish-speaking person? Once you know 100 words, 1,000 words, and how you're going to count those words. And what if you forget one? You're now back to not knowing the language. A goal is something that you can recognize with 100% certainty once you have achieved it. For example, have a conversation in Spanish language about recent political events with a native Spanish language speaker, being able to fully understand him and be understood. Now that's the specific goal. Okay, so by now you should have a very specific, challenging, and actionable goal in your mind that makes your toes curl from excitement. Now, let's move to the inevitable results part. Ask yourself this question. How can I make it so the outcome that I want to achieve is inevitable? It is a very interesting question to ask yourself. Once you've asked this question, your mind starts going on a completely different track. It starts spinning in other direction. The whole new set of ideas start to come up. Your creative part gets actively involved to answer this question. The major thing that happens once you ask this question is that you start caring about all the potential unknowns and you start seeing all the possible obstacles. Inevitability is all about external conditions. It is about setting up a certain conditions in place so that what you want to get happens automatically. So think about your goal. What are the conditions that you can set in your life so the result you want to achieve would become inevitable? It will happen no matter what. Even if you changed your mind and you don't want to pursue this goal anymore, it would be too late. A word of warning. Often the conditions that come to mind feel uncomfortable. They often hold you accountable. They often feel scary. They often are way out of your comfort zone. The first thought usually is, Yes, this would make the result I want inevitable, but I can't do it. Do you know what's the fastest way to climb a fence? Throw your hat over it. Even better, throw your purse and your driver's license along. I bet you would set a new world record by climbing this fence over in the shortest time span possible. Throwing something valuable over so you would have to get it is called setting up a condition. Let me tell you about my personal experience with inevitability thinking. Several years ago, I was working hard to install a new success habit. Get up at 6 a.m. every single morning. I failed over and over again until I asked myself, how do I make this inevitable that I wake up at 6 a.m. sharp no matter what? The answer came up immediately. Make a deal with my brother, where I have to email him an email every single morning before 6 a.m. or otherwise I give him $10. I hated this idea immediately, and that meant that it's going to work. So we made a deal, which he loved greatly, by the way. Now I jumped out of bed at 5:50 a.m., ran to my computer, turned it on in a great hurry, and rushed to send my little greedy brother his email. He didn't forgive even 1-minute delays. Excuses like my computer crashed or I didn't have internet connection didn't bother him as well. A deal is a deal, that's all he used to say. While performing this morning ritual, I was wide awake and fully alert, and after several months the habit was installed so firmly I didn't know how to get out of it. Now tomorrow I'm going to dive deeper into inevitability thinking concept, and I will tell you 3 most powerful ways to set external conditions in place. But for now, ask yourself this question. What needs to happen so I inevitably achieve my goal? See what answers come up and share them in the comments below or email me directly at arina@arinanikitina.com. I will see you tomorrow.